starting with the elderly wolf uncle. Chapter 135. He thought, looking at Chen Tian, his eyes full of fire, this is the man worth following. Chen Tian didn't care about any more. Ashley was immediately asked to take her to the underground laboratory where Compound 5 was stored. After going to the lab, he saw rows of cans of Compound number 5 and appeared in front of him. This requires a needle, you can make a super soldier. Chen Tian's eyes gradually lit up and muttered, every super soldier can provide me with the ability to copy, the future is starting to get interesting. This moment, the ambition in his heart is infinitely magnified. Chapter 95 Shield attacks the manor. Chen Tian's return, a precursor to a bloodbath. I heard you're now the real speaker of our company? Just when Chen Tian looked at the rows of number 5 compounds in front of him, he had a slight expectation. The door to the laboratory behind him was pushed open again. Queen Maeve's voice came from behind. Chen Tian glanced back at the other party. I found that Queen Maeve's eyes, although they were also a little afraid of themselves, were not at all as thick as others. The same can be said. He then chuckled. Queen Maeve looked at Chen Tian and took a deep breath. It is hard to imagine that at this moment, this young man in front of him who looks beautiful, with a smile and kindness like the big boy next door, has only shown his momentum like a matchless king not long ago. And she was precisely because she had a brief relationship with Chen Tian before. Knowing that this young man was actually not so ferocious when he didn't make a move, he dared to have the courage to contact Chen Tian. Otherwise, at this time, all the other people up and down the Walt Company only had an absolutely powerful impression of Chen Tian. In addition to awe, there is only awe. Then what shall I call you in the future, boss? Queen Maeve hesitated for a moment and spoke. To be honest, I don't like the title. Just call me Chen. Chen Tian teased. Of course, if you want to call me master, I don't have any opinion. He likes to joke in a relaxed state, in a non-combat state. However, the speaker has no intention and the listener has intention. If you like it, master. Although Queen Maeve knew that Chen Tian was not so difficult to approach, she was not entirely sure whether the other party's words were a joke or an order. So, she pursed her mouth, her eyes flashed like water, and her pretty face turned red and she opened her mouth. Chen Tian paused when he heard this. He can feel the other party's mood swings and naturally knows the misunderstanding. However, it seems that he does not reject others calling him so he acquiesces. Queen Maeve saw that the boy acquiesced, and also felt that she had done the right thing. As for shouting the words of the master, anyway, the other party is a strong person, she is willing. At the same time, Queen Maeve also began to wonder how the other party made the motherland and Edgar submit, and she wanted to say nothing. Do you know where your abilities come from? Chen Tian didn't feel her thoughts, and asked instead. When Queen Maeve heard this, she turned her head to look at the number 5 compound in the basement, and all kinds of mixed emotions were suppressed and fell silent. Of course she knew she was a product of the lab, but Walt had molded all superheroes into God's gift. Seeing this, Chen Tian walked over and pulled out a can of number 5 compound from the test bench and raised it in front of his eyes. It seems that you know the efficacy of this thing. If this thing can be distributed directly to the world, wouldn't everyone have superpowers? In his eyes, he reflected the green liquid in the test tube and thought thoughtfully. This won't work. Queen Maeve immediately became eager and explained aloud, not everyone can withstand the effects of Compound 5. Quote. She looked at Chen Tian and hesitated, afraid that her speech would be overstepped and would anger Chen Tian. Go on. Chen Tian didn't care, motioning for her to continue. Moreover, even if the experimental subject can withstand the number 5 compound and will not die as soon as it is injected, the product of the deformity may be produced. Queen Maeve took a deep breath and continued to speak. Chen Tian nodded when he heard this. I know that this thing is not stable enough, so I just said it casually. Quote. Compound 5 is not like the super soldier serum of the Marvel world, which basically has no side effects in the later stage, and can be said to have achieved the ultimate perfection. If the injection is aimed at a child, the success rate is higher. Queen Maeve added at this time. Chen Tian sneered, I don't joke about children like other beasts in the Walt Company. Quote. He thought for a while, and then said, Maeve, you go and tell Edgar to prepare an experiment with resources to participate in the clinical testing of drugs, this is what I mean. When Queen Maeve heard Chen Tian's words, she was immediately a little moved. Maybe this person is really different from the people he has contacted before. Thinking about it, she immediately said goodbye to Chen Tian and turned to leave. Chen Tian, on the other hand, looked at the other parties departing back, wondering in his heart whether to bring the super soldier serum to the black-robed picket. This will definitely help improve Compound 5. He fell into thought and muttered, at that time, the two compounds complement each other, and they can definitely speed up my mass production of super soldiers. Quote. The more Chen Tian thought about it, the more he felt that there was a drama. Moreover, the technology of the Black Robe world in the biological field is obviously stronger than that of Marvel Earth. After all, people like the Motherland, who can physically resist nuclear bombs, can make 0 more stable super soldier serum, as a sample. It will definitely accelerate the research and development of compound number 5 in terms of stability. It seems that I have to go back to Marvel to get the super soldier serum. Chen Tian immediately determined the goal of his next move. In fact, Chen Tian did not think about this before, but it was a pity that his strength was not enough at that time. And now his strength is no longer what it used to be. Even if nothing else, just saying that he has divine speed power is enough for him to obtain most of the things he wants. However, before going back to Marvel, you have to deal with the other shareholders of Walt Company. Chen Tian's thoughts proceeded here, and he smiled. After all, to be able to become a shareholder of such a behemoth and firmly hold his position. It can be said that all of those old guys are old foxes. Quote, let's keep them all under control. Thinking, Chen Tian pushed open the door of the underground laboratory and walked towards the top of the Watt Company building. Meanwhile, Marvel Universe. Delanhay Manor. The evening sky was full of clouds, and everything in the manor was bathed in gold. Everything seems so quiet and beautiful. Today is the weekend. A few children in the manor have a rare time of their own. Laura rushed into the gymnasium, constantly honing her fighting skills with Chen Tian. Except for the past month or so, countless battles large and small have occurred in the past time. And although she likes the peaceful life now, she is always worried that one day she will continue to encounter scenes that need to be fought. Moreover, I can't let Chen Tian protect me all the time, I can also protect him. Laura faced the metal puppet she asked Uncle Wolf to specially build for her, her eyes firm, and the wolf claws on her left and right hands flashed with cold light. As for Wanda, he was seriously preparing the newly learned oriental dishes, hoping to surprise Chen Tian when he returned. Pete's words, however, locked himself in the room, not knowing what to write in the drum. There are also Rogan and Professor Charles, who are sitting quietly in the living room on this TV. A look of calm and good years. However, as night falls, the light dims. Outside the estate. Chapter 1.